Hi guys, Al Smith here. Welcome to another defense lesson. This week we're going to talk about what card to lead. We call it part two. It's going to be attacking versus leading forth from your longest and strongest. There's a basic decision that's kind of new to defense that we're going to talk about today. Let's take a look at what we defined last week. We defined several classes of leads, and we discussed 1A and B, partner directed or suggested leads, and attacking power leads based upon different sequences. What we're going to talk about this week, excuse me, is an attacking lead based upon a partial sequence with the ace or the ace king, maybe even the king queen, with a 5+ card suit instead of leading forth from our longest and strongest. Okay? It's a lot that's changed over the last 10 years. And in the future lessons, we're going to talk about the rest of this stuff. So let's get into it. There's an old adage in bridge. It says, against no trump, lead forth from your longest and your strongest. Well, if you do this without thinking about it, it can be disastrous. Okay, many of the times you're just going to give the deck player a cheap trick and you're going to hand them the contract on a silver platter. And that really becomes the crux of the lesson today is when when should you lead forth and when shouldn't you lead forth? Okay, so now historically, leading ace against no trump was asking your partner to unblock and if they had an honor to play it. Okay, that's no longer true. There's been a lot of analysis and mathematical modeling done over the last 15 years. And what we found is that there are many situations where you should go ahead and lead the ace, just the ace, either the ace king or the king from the king queen. And when you're going to do this versus the fourth depends on how many cards you have in the suit, how many cards you think you and your partner together have in that suit, and how many cards you think the opponents have in the suit. Now, these are three different sort of related criteria, but you have to think about it from these three different perspectives. And then the most important aspect is, what do you have in mind? What cards do you have in that suit? Does it give you the foundation for making a power lead, a non-sequence power lead? And we're looking to that. All right, now, okay, when we're going to do that, when we're going to make an attacking lead, these are the situations where we should make an attacking lead versus using the rule of 11, or fourth and longest and strongest. Okay, if you have a 4-card suit with the ace king, okay, and the opponents, of course, haven't bid this suit, okay, you're going to want to lead the ace. What that does is allow you to, it's a temporizing lead. It allows you to see the dummy and to get information from your partner. Okay, and if your partner gives you encouragement, you can continue that suit. If your partner tells you not to leave that suit again, don't leave that suit. But it allows you to gather a lot of information. Okay, now if you've got a 5-card suit and you have the ace king or the king queen, you should make a power lead suit. Okay? Because you've got enough strength and enough length to go ahead and do that. All right. Now again, with the ace, it's a temporizing lead. It allows you to gather information and to see the dummy, especially when you get information from your partner. And the king queen, is going to set up one of these 2 cards as a trick if your partner doesn't have the ace. It also allows you to see the dummy and to gather information. So it gives you an opportunity to collect a lot of information to determine whether you should continue this suit later on, whether your partner should lead it, and so forth. Now, with a 6+ card suit, now you see this as a combination of what cards you've got and the number of cards that you have in the suit. Okay. If you've got a 6-card suit with the ace king, we'll continue that. King queen, we'll continue that. But we're going to add to that two more variations. One where you have the ace and another honor, the queen, jack, or 10, or you have just the ace. Okay, now this, just the ace, you go, well, I might be setting up the opponent. Well, you might be, you might not be. Okay, the whole purposes of this is not to give the opponents a cheap trick and to gather information. Okay, so these are the situations where you're going to want to make power lead from a limited sequence. Okay, in order to see the dummy and to get additional information from the partner. Now, this also is designed to keep from giving the declarer a cheap trick. And I'll show you an example about this in a minute. Okay, but there's many times when we lead forth and the declarer ends up taking the trick with a jack, 10, or 9, and we just kind of shake our head and say, darn. Okay, so that's what we're trying to prevent. The ability, and it also helps us control the declarer's ability to use the hold-up play, and allows us many times to establish the suit earlier so that we don't have to try to do it as our second act. We want to make sure that we're getting in there as quickly as we can to develop the suit. Okay, now just as a reminder, the ace is not a request to unblock. If you learn this, you're going to have to unlearn it because it's a change, a big change from what historically has been one of the what's been used historically in the past. Okay, now in kind of summary, if you think you and your partner have 8+ cards in the suit, and you have one of these combinations, okay, you should be making the power lead. All right, let's look at a cheap trick example. Okay, in this particular layout, you've got the king, queen, 9, 6, 4. If you apply the rule of 11, fourth from the longest and strongest, you lead to 6. Okay, and obviously the declarer is going to play the jack, going to come around, and that jack's going to win. That's a cheap trick. All right, however, if you use this new technique and say, well, I've got the king, queen, and I've got 5, so I should go ahead and make a power lead. You lead the king, the dummy comes down, you see it's got the jack 7. Yep, and your partner plays the 5, and the player is going to hold up. But now you can play the queen to smother that jack. Okay, you've still got that 9. Okay, but you play the queen to smother that jack. Okay, and your partner now is going to play the 10 turn block, and the declarer is probably going to hold up again. And now you've got a count of the hand. You can lead whatever one you want to drive out that ace. Okay, so you can see how effective that technique can be. If you lead, so in this case, so you kind of see how that technique works. All right, now let's discuss the rule of 11, or the fourth from your highest, your longest and strongest. Okay, you should only do this when you have a reasonable suit and you have no other information, no other leads that you want to make. You don't have a power lead, you don't have a sequence-based power lead, you don't have one of these partial sequence power lead. Okay, you've got a 4+ card suit. But you only want to do this with, and let's define reasonable. Define reasonable as a 4-card suit with at least the queen, or a 5+ card suit with at least the jack. Why? Because you need to be able to develop that. I mean, if you've got the queen and 3, the opponents are probably going to take 2 rounds of tricks in that suit, and you're going to need to be able to either get into the lead several times to cash that queen, or your partner's going to have to be able to lead that back to you. So say, they have to have the capability of the suit being developed by you and your partner together. Okay, so it's not an absolute rule, but do not use fourth from your longest and strongest with a crappy suit with no outside entries. You're going to run into situations where you are going to lead fourth from a crappy suit, but it's for other reasons. For example, you have almost all the remaining high cards there and no trump, and you know your partner has nothing. Okay, it can also be viewed as a passive lead. Okay, so but you don't want to use it. You want to use it in the right context. Okay, the right context of using fourth as a development lead is when you've got something in that suit. Okay. Now the basic the rationale for the rule of 11, and they call it the rule of 11 for a reason. Okay, because you take 11 and you subtract that from that, the value of the card your partner led. It tells you how many cards are outstanding between the dummy, you, and the declare that are higher than the cards that the opening reader has in his or her hand. Now, if you subtract the number of cards that you see in the dummy that are higher, and the number of cards that you see in your hand that are higher, it'll tell you the number of cards that the declarer has that are higher than a card led by your partner. Okay, so let's look at an example here. Your partner led from the 6 from this holding, and you look at the dummy, and the dummy has the Jack 9. So you got 11 minus 6 is equal to 5 cards higher between the dummy, your hand, and declare. You look at the dummy, and the dummy's got the Jack 9 3. Well, that's 2 cards higher than 6. So you subtract that from 5 and say, hey, there's 3 higher. You look at your hand, and you've got the Ace King 7. That's 3 in your hand. You subtract that from 3, and you know for a fact then that the declare has no cards in the led suit that are higher than the 6. So it gives you all the information that you need to in essence, to set up the defense. So your partner leads the 6. You play the ace, take the first trick, you take the king, take the second trick, then you lead the 7 back to your partner's queen, because your partner's not going to use the rule of 11 from a crappy suit, so you know you're hoping. Well, you're not hoping, because you can actually see the Jack and the dummy. You know that your partner's got the queen. They take the queen, and they subsequently you guys take the first 5 tricks. Okay, remember, you got to use this information. You have to decipher the information so you can use it in setting up your defensive strategy. Okay, let's look at some cheap tricks, at some examples of the rule of 11. It probably shouldn't be titled cheap trick example. This is a rule of 11 example. And yeah, the rule of 11 can still result in giving the opponents a cheap trick. But that's, sometimes you get the bear, and sometimes the bear gets you. All right, this is in the first example here. You can see that you lead the 6, and the declare is going to play the queen, and is going to run that queen is going to hold. So you're going to get 2 tricks. There's nothing you can do about that. But what you're really hoping is that your partner has something to complement you in the suit that you're leading. So let's look at the second example. In this one, you lead the 6, the 5 is played from dummy. Now your partner plays their highest on it, their highest equal. Okay, now, so they play the queen. The declare can hold up. Probably will. I would. Then they're going to play the 10 to unblock. And the declare is going to hold up again. Okay, and because you've got the king jack, the queen's been played, you play the 4, and now your partner wins the second trick and then leads the 2 and drives out the ace. Now, if you've got an outside entry, you take that trick plus 2 more tricks in the suit. So how successful the leading fourth from the longest to strongest using the rule of 11 is going to be dependent on what your partner has in the hand. Okay, and it gives both of you a lot of information as it relates to the overall quality of that suit between your 2 hands. But remember, that information is also available to the declare. So the declare is going to use that information too. But it's, you can't hide the information because it's more useful to you than it is to the declare. All right, let's go ahead and look at the sample hands. uh, on a shark fish and see how this is actually used. In the first hand here, the opponents have opened one no trump. You pass. The West opponent bid statement indicating they've got a 4-card major. Your partner passed, and now the East says they bid 2 spades, saying they've got 4 spades. Pass, 3 clubs. So, and then it goes around, and final contract is 3 no trump. But what do we know about West's bid of 3 clubs? Well, it says they've got 4 hearts and probably 5 or more clubs. All right, so we've gathered our information, so we're pretty sure that East has, we know the East has 15 to 17 points, okay, and that East has 4 spades, and you know the West has got 4 hearts and probably 5+ clubs, so we pretty well eliminated that we don't want to lead spades, we don't want to lead hearts, and we don't want to lead clubs. So we're going to lead we really don't like any of those. Now, as we look at our hand, we've got 6 hearts. Okay, if you use the rule of 11 and you didn't apply a logic here, you just grab that 5 of hearts, plunk it out on the table, and the declare would just romp and be able to make and easily make their contract. But because we're not going to lead forth from a crappy suit like this, what we're going to do, using the logic that we just went through, is we'll lead the 5 of diamonds. Okay, and the 5 is signifies to our partners. We'll find out a little bit later in the next lesson. It says, hey, I probably don't have much in this suit. Okay, but let's see what happens. So it comes around, plays the diamond, and our partner jumps on it with the king. All right, now our partner is going to then lead the ace of diamonds. Okay, there's no percentage in not taking the tricks when you've got the ability to. Now the opponents are probably going to get rid of a spade in this situation, okay? But our partner now knows that, because we initially denied having an honor in diamonds by what we led, you know, and we'll find that out later. Okay, it's going to shift. Okay, and they're going to shift and lead through the strength of the declare. And the declare bid spade, so we're going to lead a spade. Now, the declare has to, it looks at their hands. So I've got 1, 2 diamond tricks. I've got 1, 2, 3, probably, maybe I've got 5 club tricks. I've got 4 heart tricks. So let's see, I've got 1, 2. So we're going to go ahead and lead the spaces. I'm going to go up with that ace. I'm going to count on being able to take all of those club tricks. And he jumps on this and says, well, I want to be able to take these diamond tricks first. So I don't want to get locked in my hand. I got to be able to get over there, and I need to take my tricks first. So it leads the diamonds. So I'm going to run these. And he goes, okay. And so I'm going to take that trick. And we're going to send throw away 4, and then put this. Well, we don't want to throw away that as hard. Those are good hard. So we're going to undo. I did a bad thing here. Okay, we're not going to throw away hearts. He's got 4 hearts, so we're going to throw away a spade first. We throw away the diamond. He's going to take another diamond. Yeah, I'm going to start throwing away hearts here. Okay, and he knows his hearts are good, so he's going to start throwing away his clubs. All right, now he's going to have to, in order to maintain communication, he's going to have to take the hearts, because he can't get back to his hand. So he takes the hearts. Do that. Get rid of the spade. Okay, and he says, all right, now I have to get over there. He's going to go over there and he's going to take that ace. And he's going to take his 2 hearts. And he's going to squeeze. All right, so this queen. So we've got to protect ourselves. We're counting that. We're going to have to get rid of that die. Okay, and the spades are worthless. He throws them away. Throw away those hearts. Okay, now we have to know that this guy's got the 5 clubs because he told us that from the beginning. And he says, all right, let's see if the clubs break. And he goes, and lo and behold, the clubs don't break. So we force that king, he comes back, he leaves the spade, we're going to get another trick. All right, now, the whole value of this was that we ended up getting an extra trick because we didn't leave the heart at the beginning. That gave us the opportunity to set up and get our diamond tricks early. Let's go ahead and look at the next deal. Okay, here's the next deal. All right, kind of the same situation. This time, though, East opens up 1-note trump, and West jumps to 3-note trump, denying a 4-card major. All right, now we're going to go ahead and make an inventory of our hand here. All right, we really don't have any information other than 1-note trump, 3-note trump, so we know that pretty well demands the lead of a major. We look at our hand, and what we're trying to find is a 5+ card fit between us and our partner, hopefully having more cards than that. As many as possible, but we already found our 5-card suit. We've got 5 cards in the hearts. Okay, and we know we don't want to leave these other ones, so we're looking at this. Here's where we're going to apply the rule of 11. We don't want to make a power lead because we're not strong enough. We don't have the ace king or the king queen in this particular hand. So what we're going to want to do is use the rule of 11. So we're going to lead the 6 of hearts. Okay, now let's go ahead and show North's hand also. All right, now so that we can talk about this, because, and let's go ahead and just show all hands. Okay, the declare over here, East, is sitting there with the queen. There's no percentage for East to go ahead and play the ace, so he's going to play the 2. Okay, but our partner says the 6 was led, so that's 6 from 11 is 5. You can count 1 here, that's 4, and we've got 3 here that says there's 1. So we know that the declarer has 1 card higher than 6. Now, not too much we can do about that, but we're going to play our jack here. And the declarer is going to take the queen. Now we know that there's only 1 card higher in hearts, and we can see it in the dummy's hand, and that's the ace. So the real question is, can we set up that suit? That's the question. And let's see what happens here. The declarer has taken that trick and said, well, I've got 3 spades. They can possibly split 3-3, so I can get potentially 4 spades. I've got another heart. That would be 5. Okay, my clubs are pretty bad, and my diamonds, I've got 3 tricks off the top. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 tricks. I need for one of these 2 suits to split. Okay, now, as it turns out, the declarer is actually sitting pretty good, because in reality, both the spades and the diamond split. So the declarer is going to, first of all, test the water, and he's going to do so first in spades because the spades are more powerful. And he wants to preserve that 10 of spades to begin with. So he's going to take the ace. Okay. Now, because now he has an opportunity here taking a finesse, if that makes sense. So I mean, he could try to take the finesse at this particular point in time. and then try to do the diamonds later. So let's say that he goes ahead and I'm going to play for the drop. He goes like this, and this is probably the way that I would play it. He sees a 9 and he goes, hot diggity, I've got my knife trick. He takes that spade to squeeze you guys some more. So probably start getting rid of a heart or a diamond in this particular case, but I don't want to give him information, so I'm going to throw away the heart. And he knows his clubs aren't very strong, but he's got at least a stopper club, so he can start to throw things away there. Okay, and our partner throws away a heart also. Okay, now, because of this, he can now, because he's got that stopper in clubs and got a stopper in hearts, he can go ahead and do the same thing in diamonds. So he does it in diamonds. And you can see that he's going to be pretty successful. There's absolutely nothing we can do about it. He jumps up there, takes that ace of diamonds. Now he's got this other diamond. Okay, and he can leave the diamond. Okay, and you see, we throw away a club here, we can throw away a heart here, and let's say go throw away a heart here. Okay, he's already got his 9 tricks. He doesn't have to worry about it. Well, I'm going to take my 10th trick in front. So he easily made that contract, but we made the best possible lead that we could make. All right, let's look at the next deal. All right, in this deal, we have kind of the same situation, except that East opens 2 no trumps. So we know he's got 20 to 21 high card points. And we pass, and West, with a minimal hand of 5 points, says, I'm bidding 3 no trump. Bids 3 no trump and comes back around again. All right, now, let's look at this hand from the standpoint of what we've got here. Well, we've got 11 high card points. And we know East has got 20 to 21. We know West has got 4, 5, 6, somewhere in that category. Our partner can't have much. Okay, we don't want to leave the ace of spades because the ace of spades is made to take kings and queens. Same for the ace of clubs. And we don't want to leave the king because we'd be serving his head up on a platter. So we've got this crappy 4-card heart suit. All right, now we're actually going to pick the heart suit to lead, not because it's our longest suit, but because we do not want to finesse ourselves in these other suits. We're going to make a passive lead. Okay, 4th from a crappy suit should be looked at as a passive lead because it acknowledges that the opponents probably have strength in that suit, and we don't want to finesse ourselves or hurt ourselves in the other suit. So we're going to lead that 4 of hearts. So we lead the 4 of hearts. We've seen the dummy. Okay, and our partner is going to give us a discouraging signal. Now, let's go ahead and show all those, show all the hands again. Okay, so our partner really doesn't have much either. Well, we knew that to begin with. So because we made a passive lead, though, we're going to be able to take the king with the ace. Doesn't do us any good because it's got the queen jack, so we're not going to get any tricks. We're going to get 1 trick in spades. We're not going to get any tricks in hearts. Well, we might. It's hypothetically possible we might get a heart if they split 4, 3, 3, 3, and we can get in enough times. We can actually make a heart trick. Okay, now because the ace of diamonds is located to our right, we're going to get a diamond trick. So we're going to get 3 tricks and possibly a 4th trick. So by making that passive lead, it creates an opportunity for us. Now, as it turns out, they're going to get 4 spade tricks, they're going to get 3 heart tricks, that's 7, and they're going to get 4 club tricks for 11, 3 heart tricks, they're going to get 3 spade tricks, 3 heart tricks, that's not 6. They're going to get 3 club tricks, that's well, let's see, we've got 1, then they get a diamond, and then you get 2 clubs, 3 clubs, that's 4. They're going to get their 9 tricks. But let's just quickly pop through this and see how everything works out. Let me take this. Okay, and they're going to actually begin working on spades because that's their longest suit. They've got, well, they've got 7 spades and 7 clubs. Uh, they're probably going to try to develop the clubs first. So the ace came out. They know they've got the additional tricks there. We're going to lead hearts again, hoping that sometime we can set the hearts up. So now, we're going to play the clubs. Now we're going to lead hearts again. And you can see we might possibly be able to jump on that. The king comes out, and they say, "Okay, let's set up our clubs." So he takes his clubs. Queen's good over there now. He says, "Well, I've got to set up those spades, and I need to be able to get there." So he says, "I'm going to leave the king of spades." Okay, now if I'm really smart here, I'm going to duck. All right, so I duck. I'm going to duck. Well, now he says, "Well, I've got the king, the queen left, so I can lead." Now, if I duck again, it really doesn't do me any good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that. All right, now I'm going to lead the stupid hearts again. I'm going to drive out that other heart. Look at that. They do split. There is a Santa Claus. So now he says, "Oh my goodness, I've got, I can finesse with the king of diamonds," hoping that the king of diamonds, he doesn't want me to have the king of diamonds, because if I have the king of diamonds, I can take the heart. And okay, let me go ahead and take the spades. Leave the spade, take that, and now he's going to take his good queen of clubs. He comes around and he says, "Well, the only way I can make this contract is by finessing the queen of diamonds." And he doesn't have a finesse because the lead of the queen is going to automatically get covered by the king. Okay, and promoting the jack. You can see that. He said, "Well, I'm desperate. I'll lead the diamond, and I'll hope." He's trying to get an overtrick. So I'm going to lead the ace of diamonds and hope the king falls. And it doesn't. So now he goes, well, he's got that good spade left, doesn't he? So he's going to lead that spade, and we ultimately get a diamond trick. Okay, but we did our best. We got the 3 tricks that we deserved, and if we could have got back in the lead, we would have got the 4th heart trick. Let's go to the next one. This is hand number 4. Okay, on this hand, got the situation where East opens 1-no trump, totally reasonable. We pass, and West bids 2 clubs for Steinman. East goes 2 diamonds. I don't have the 4-card major, and because he's got 10 plus points, West goes to 3-no trump. Now, this hand is an example of a situation where we should make a power lead from a partial sequence. We have 6 hearts. Okay, traditionally, if we went back in the literature, it said, lead the 6 of hearts. Our partner might have the queen. Well, in the new bridge, we're saying we've got 6 plus, we've got the ace king. What we're going to do is we're going to make the power lead. We're going to lead the ace. Now remember, the ace is not a request to unblock. Okay? We can do so if we want. Let's open up the bidding, and let's see North's hand also. Okay, I did the wrong one. Let's just show all the hands. All right, so the declare goes, I've got problems. So he plays the 9. Our partner gives us the 2nd highest. We know the 2 is missing, and the declare plays the 8. Now, because we're going, well, it's very possible that the declare has a singleton queen or jack. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and lead that. Okay, and our partner, being very astute, unblocks. So we take the first two heart tricks and then progress to take four more heart tricks and the declare is down 2 because we recognize that from this holding, we should make a power lead from the partial sequence. Okay, let's go to the next deal. In the next deal, we have kind of the same situation. The East opens a heart. We overcall a spade. Not a real strong overcall, but we've got 6 of them. And the West goes to 2 diamonds. Generally shows 5 plus diamonds and 10 plus points. And our partner gives 2 spades. And it goes 2 no trump, pass, 3 no trump. So we know that East is the bidder in spades who's got some type of a blocker. All right, so we go, well, what should we lead? Well, we know that we've got 6. Our partner has promised to probably have at least 3, so that's 9. So we should be making a power lead. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to lead the ace from having 6. No, traditionally we would lead the 7. All right, but what we're going to do is go ahead and lead the ace. Again, let's go ahead and look at all the hands. All right, so what's going to happen, that jack falls. All right, fantastic. Our partner plays second. Now, we didn't give the declare the capability of potentially getting a cheap trick with that jack. Now, is it going to help in this particular situation? No, it's not going to help us very much because, in fact, by leading from the ace from this particular situation, we probably are going to lose a trick. Now, let's do an undo here. It comes back. And let's say we did lead 4. Okay, the jack comes out, the queen comes. Okay, and now they're going to play the king. Okay, the situation is still pretty much the same, except when our partner gets in the lead with the ace of clubs, they're going to be able to lead a spade, and we're actually going to be able to run the spades if we can. But let's see what happens. Okay, the declare says, well, I'm going to try to set up the diamond. So he comes over and he leads the 5 of diamonds, plays the 10. Here comes the ace, and comes back with the diamond. We'll say he's pretty astute and he's counting, and now he takes the diamond tricks, and we have to start throwing stuff away now. Okay, so we're going to start throwing away our spade, takes the diamonds. Now, what's going to happen is they're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to take 2 more diamond tricks. They're going to take 5 heart tricks, and the net effect is that they're going to take the same number of tricks. Now, while did it hurt us in leading the ace of spades? No. All right, let's go to the next hand. Okay, on this hand, again, this is another example of where we can use the power lead. Now, however, this brings in another dimension. We set this up so that the opponents are in 6 no trump, and typically what we want to do is make a passive lead against 6 no trump, unless we can set up tricks. We actually have a near perfect power lead sequence here. So we're missing the jack. So what we're going to want to lead here, because we want to set up the opportunity to take tricks. So we're going to lead the king of hearts. All right, now, are we going to set the contract? Let's see. We've got a reasonable opportunity of setting the contract. Okay, but because we're leading that king and not 4th, again, we don't want to lead 4th. in this particular situation. But you use the king, and it's a power lead from that sequence. Partner plays the 8, and the player is going to take the ace. Okay, they could duck this at this particular point in time to do what's called equalizing the count. But you know, let's say that they went, and at this particular time, they're going to try to set up the spade. They're going to take a spade for this. They leave the jack of spades. We're going to cover it. Comes up here with the king. All right, now they're starting to develop a problem. What are they going to do? Okay, they can take 4 club tricks. So let's let them take 4 club tricks. Let's then go take the 4 club tricks, and we follow suit. Okay, and they say, well, I want to end up over in over here, so they come back over here. Take the king, come back. They want to finish up in East's hand, so we're kind of close here. Come back up to the ace. Now we have to decide what to throw away. So we say, well, we give our partner positive signals of like hearts. We leave that again. We throw away a negative in hearts. All right. And we throw away a spade because we can see 2 there and so forth. And the declarer goes, now I can squeeze him some more. I'll take the ace of spades. Takes the ace of spades, and he's squeezing. He's squeezing as hard as he can squeeze. Now he says, all right, I need to be able to take 3 I need to take 4 diamond tricks. So the diamonds have to split. So he says, okay, let's take a diamond here. I need to end up with the hand with 4 diamonds. So he plays this. Plays the diamond, and he goes, oh crap, they don't split. He takes that. Guess what? He's down 1. Okay, because we did not leave 4. All right, so that concludes the lesson for today. What we're going to do is thank you for attending. I hope this has been helpful. And it's really critical to understand when to use the rule of 11, 4th from your longest to strongest, versus using one of the other techniques. Have a great day.